Hello, y'all, and welcome on back to Creators Spicy Tea. I am Allie, and believe it or not, I create adult content online, and I show my whole face doing it. But here's the thing, I also keep my personal identity completely private and completely separate. So whether you're just starting out in this space, or if you are already established and starting to grow, one of the most important things you have to understand is how to protect your identity. This is not just for your peace of mind, but for your long-term safety and your sustainability within this business. Throughout this video, we're going to walk through everything that we can be doing to remain anonymous and protect our real life identities while running a public facing adult content brand. We're going to cover account setup, social media strategy, device safety, you know, those device settings that tell on you every time, yeah? How to handle fan interactions and communications, and then, we'll touch on what to do if the worst happens and someone poses a threat to your privacy and your safety. So, let's get into it. Let's begin at the very start, because your privacy starts from the moment you make your first account. The foundation of staying anonymous online starts at account creation. Immediately upon account creation. Once you create that account, you're always using a pseudonym, a stage name, right? Across every platform, every app, every email address, and every social account. You never, ever register a public account for your adult content creation using your real name. You never connect your personal accounts either. Use an email service that doesn't require your personal info. Think things like Proton Mail or, even a very anonymous Google email. Create a work-only email that does not have your personal information tied to it, and create that completely separate inbox for your creator business. And then the next thing we can do, don't use login with Facebook, login with Twitter. These social logins very often request access to your personal contacts, your linked apps, and your location data. Don't need that. Create all of your adult content platform accounts from scratch manually. And then, if a platform requires ID for age verification, think OnlyFans, think Fansly. They're going to see your real information internally. They have to. Legally, they have to. But your subscribers, they never, ever will, right? Just make sure your stage name is set and your display name is set, and keep every field generic. On your adult platform, you're not listing your hometown. No. You're not listing even your real birthday. Leave your location blank or choose something vague. If you want to have your birthday a celebrated occasion, leave the year out of it. On your adult content platforms, enable geo-blocking if the platform allows it, right? On OnlyFans and Fansly, you can block your home country, I think some specific states and maybe even cities. I could be wrong there. That way people in your area are not going to see your profile. It's not perfect. This is not a perfect solution. Someone could easily use a VPN, but it is an important layer of protection. Finally, for our adult content platforms, we're going to enable two-factor authentication on every platform. Maybe like an authenticator app like Google Authenticator over SMS. That way, if you lose your phone number, you're not screwed. But if you must use your phone number, consider using a prepaid or a burner number that's still, again, not tied to your personal identity. Once your content platform accounts are secure, the next major area to lock down is social media, because this is where most privacy slip-ups just tend to happen. That's right. Most leaks and most privacy breaches, they aren't happening on your adult content platforms. They're happening on social media. It's open to a wider audience. You're sharing more safe for work details about your life. They happen. Never ever create creator social media accounts using your real name, your real email, or your real phone number. Use that email you set up for your creator only. And then if you have a phone number required, use Google Voice, Text Now, Second Phone. I use what's called Burner app. It's a great app. I've never had a problem with it. Disable all contact syncing and discoverability in settings if you must use your own phone number, right? Or if you set up the social account on your phone. Turn those off. So on Instagram, this means going to settings and then turning off connect contacts. On Twitter, you're going to uncheck let others find you by email or phone. And these small steps will just help prevent your creator account from being suggested to your friends and family and further tying you to your location and your real life. You should also consider pre-blocking people in real life. Does that seem harsh? No, not at all. That is safety. You might feel that going through and blocking your friends is harsh, but if someone you know casually finds your creator profile and then recognizes you, they might follow you out of curiosity, and then the next group will follow, and then the next group will follow. Do you get what I'm saying? By pre-blocking, you completely eliminate that risk entirely, and you eliminate the chance of someone you don't want to see your content seeing your content. And then on your social profiles, be very careful with usernames. Don't reuse a handle you've used before. Your creator-only accounts need to be an entirely new digital person. Don't reuse that info. And under no circumstances should you ever cross-post or link between your creator persona and your personal identity. Use separate browsers. Use separate devices if possible. One accidental cross-post, one slip like that, and all of your privacy work that you put in comes undone. So now that our social media profiles are pretty much compartmentalized, let's look at what happens behind the scenes, inside your images, inside your videos, and the devices you use every single day. We're going to start with your smartphone. So most smartphones embed metadata, also called EXIF data, E-X-I-F. That goes into every photo and every video you ever take. These bits of data can include the date, the time, your GPS coordinates, and in some cases, your real whole ass name, especially if it's stored into that device. So before uploading any content, disable geotagging on your camera. So on iPhones, I'm not an iPhone girly, that's going to be going into, I tried to memorize it, you guys, going into settings, privacy, location services, camera, and then I think that's where you could turn off your location. On Android, you go to your camera app settings and you just disable GPS tagging or location permissions. The next step, you're going to strip metadata from your files before posting. There are completely free mobile apps and websites that do this in seconds. Don't rely on platforms to do it for you. Many do strip your metadata, like Reddit. I do believe OnlyFans does the same. Many do, but not all. And what if they mess up? I would much rather have it in my hands, under my control. And then when you're taking your images, be so mindful of what's in your background. Avoid filming near mirrors or windows, near your mail, near any school memorabilia, anything that could identify where you are. If you're filming with a screen in the background, right, like a computer screen, just make sure it's not showing anything personal. Like, let's say, your desktop background with your kid's picture on it, or, your Facebook tab you left open, or, a document where you have your whole ass name written on it. Double check your background. Manually look behind you, right? Use generic or stylized backdrops, right? Control your filming environment. Make it hard to connect your filming setting to your real world setting. So now our files are clean and our content's looking great and safe, but what about internet activity and device usage? That's where we're going next. Your IP address, browser fingerprint, and device history can all reveal your location or your identity. That's why it's so important to consider using things like a virtual private network, aka a VPN. I use those religiously. Be very careful, some platforms don't like them, aka Reddit, TikTok, for two. A VPN, what it does is it masks your IP address and it routes your traffic through a secure secondary server. So choose a no-logs VPN provider that doesn't track or store your activity. We're trying to hide that. We don't want someone tracking that. Use a privacy-focused browser even. God, what are examples? I know Firefox is focused on privacy. There are more options. Block third-party cookies and disable trackers as well. And clear your cache frequently. Clear that thing. Not only is that gonna, help protect your privacy, it'll make shit run smoother. And then if you have the ability, because I know my Android tablet doesn't, but if you have the ability, add extensions to enhance that browser privacy. If you're able, consider using a second phone strictly for content and fan interaction. That phone should contain none of your real contacts, none of your personal apps, none of your personal browsing history, right? Alternatively, you could create a separate user profile or virtual machine on your desktop to keep your content creation completely isolated. We are just trying to make sure nothing leaks through the cracks. Consider enabling full disk encryption and lock your devices with secure passwords or biometrics, and update your operating system so regularly. That just helps keep you protected from new vulnerabilities, or it's supposed to anyway. All right, now that our tech talk has been done, let's talk about the most personal part of business, and that's communication with our fans and collaborators. When interacting with fans, we want to keep our head clear and our mind focused on what we're doing. If you are a platform-only girly or guy-y, keep those conversations on Fansly, on ManyVids, on OnlyFans, or wherever that original contact occurred. So if you're a platform-only person, then those platforms can help provide you some protections, allow blocking, and create a bit of a screenshot paper trail in case something goes wrong. If you do offer extra communications like Telegram or what have you, use a username again with your stage name and not your real phone number. Never give out your actual phone number. That is such an easy Google search, from a phone number to your full name to your address. If you are collaborating with photographers, editors, other creators, what have you, always communicate using your alias. Use your alias email address, not your personal one. And of course, if legal contracts are required, which most times they are, do not be afraid to ask for a mutual NDA to protect your real identity. Even in live video calls, it's important to set boundaries with clients. Things you can do to protect yourself while on video calls: use virtual backgrounds, blur your space, and if a fan or a client becomes overly familiar, asking for your name, your location, your background, right? Things like that. If a fan that you've got close to just starts trying to get a little bit closer, do not be afraid. Do not be afraid to put down your boundaries gently but firmly. You are not ever obligated to share anything personal ever, period. Okay? Now, what happens when shit goes wrong, right? What happens when we did all the things and we still got doxxed or leaked? So let's talk harassment, leaks, and doxing, and how to just be prepared so that if it happens to you, you know what to do. If someone threatens to expose your identity, what do? We don't engage. Hell no. You ain't taking none of my time. Block them, screenshot everything. Report them to the platform. Most harassment like this is based on bluffing and manipulation. Do not give it power. If you feed it, it will grow. We did a full in-depth video in the past going over doxing and what to do here. If you want to give that a look, I'll link that bad boy down below. Now let's talk if your content's leaked. So if it's leaked, especially if it includes your face, you can take action. So most adult platforms, including OnlyFans and Fansly, they do have built-in watermarks. Watermark your content everywhere. Anyway, just watermark it. You can issue a DMCA takedown notice directly. You can use a service like Brandit Scan. You have options to get that shit taken back down. But what if it's not content that's being leaked? What if it's personal info? If personal information like your address, your legal name, whatever, if that's ever being posted publicly, treat it seriously. Very seriously. Report the post. Document everything. That way, if needed, you can contact your local law enforcement or legal support. This behavior, this is doxing, and it is illegal in most jurisdictions. So you do have the law on your side on this one. And always remember, in these cases, you're not alone. It's so isolating to go through, but you're not alone in it. There are communities, legal resources, and platforms willing to help protect creators from targeted harassment like this. But preparation is your best defense. So let's finish with some perspective, because staying anonymous does not mean hiding. It means building your brand with intention. You don't necessarily need to hide your face to protect your identity. What you need is control, right? That's control of what you share, control of where you show up, control of who has access to you and how often, right? If you don't show face, you have that extra layer of protection, but if you want to, it's not a free-for-all. There are steps you can take. Many successful adult creators run powerful, visible brands without ever revealing where they live, who they are, how to reach them, mind you, outside of their chosen platforms. Create a consistent alias. Build a persona that feels true to you as a person without giving away too much, right? Design your brand around who you want to be seen as, not who you are. Remember, we're trying to hide that. So you need to have who you are injected into it. But you want to build this persona around it. And the last little tippy tip I could give is audit your shit regularly. Google. Open that Google machine. Search your alias. Search your real name. And don't ever search those two in one search together, because past searches other people do show up for other people. So search your alias, search your stage name, search that with the word leaks, etc. The more successful you get, the more your privacy is going to matter, y'all. And these steps can really, really help. Okay, this was long. Thank you guys so much for sitting with me today. For anyone interested, there's such a much deeper deep dive, full fucking written resource over on creatorsspicytea.co in the resource library, and that is titled How Adult Content Creators Can Remain Anonymous and Safe Online. I will be sure to link that below, and I 50/50 won't forget. If you guys feel this helped you feel more confident in protecting your identity while building your adult content business, do your next creator a solid. Share this along, right? Share it with anyone who might need it. Okay, y'all. Once again, I'm Allie, and this was Creators Spicy Tea. Thank you again for sitting with me. I hope you're safe. I hope you're sane. I hope you are goddamn thriving.